We're back and looking at the Encyclopedia of the Ancient World, specifically page 32, 33, and we're going to talk about some new states that were in this Mesopotamian region, okay? So, specifically around 1195 BC, we had these Sea Peoples that arrived in the Middle East. The Sea Peoples destroy the Hittite Empire, and the whole area is kind of shook up after that, okay? So, who are these Sea People? The Sea People, we believe, came from the Mycenaean Greece. There was famine that struck the area very bad, and so it started causing people to raid other cities, and wars broke out, and then they were forced off their island trying to find food and shelter and other things. So eventually, they became these Sea Peoples. So famine and war drove them from their homes. They invaded the Middle East by land and sea. They're going after basically everybody that they can, trying to find new homes and be able to just survive. Eventually, these Sea Peoples are defeated by the Egyptians, and you come up with basically the Philistines, okay? The Philistines are an offshoot of these Sea People, kind of a remnant of the Sea People. They settled in southern Canaan, and they were the Peliset, okay? Peliset was their name, and that's where we get their name. The current name, Palestine, is derived from the Peliset. They appear in the Bible as the Philistines and are a great rival of the Hebrews. Another new person that comes in the area is the Phrygia. It's a new state in what is the Anatolia, Turkey area. They grew after the fall of the Hittites. And the Greek legend says that these are the people who were ruled by King Midas. You know, the king in the legend, they touched everything that he touched turned to gold, okay? Also, you have a group of people called Lydia. It's another country or a group of people, state in Anatolia area, and they had a lot of gold. They mined vast amounts of gold and became extremely wealthy, and it's believed that these Lydian people were the first ones to produce coins of any form. You also have the Black Sea warriors that arise during this time, somewhere around 700 BC. They were called Scythians and were a very warlike tribe of horsemen. They settled an area just north of the Black Sea and traded and fought with most of the nations of Mesopotamia. Lastly, you have the Aramaeans, and this is a group of nomadic people who settled in the Middle East somewhere around 1100 BC. They took over a couple cities, one being Damascus and one being Aleppo, which is in modern-day Syria. And they had a language, a Semitic language, which is known as Aramaic, okay? The Arameans settled a very wide area and spread their language over this whole entire area. And because of this, the Aramaic language becomes kind of the language of the Middle East for centuries. In fact, when Jesus arrives, they're speaking Aramaic. Also, during this time, there's always been trade and will always have been trade. And one of the big things that was being traded during this time is incense, okay? There's a huge incense trade. Incense is a sweet smelling kind of thing, incense, and was very valuable, just as valuable as gold back in the ancient world during this time. It was burned in religious ceremonies in not just the old Mesopotamian states, but the new states as well. There was another group during this trade period called the Nabateans, and they basically were selling a lot of this incense to the different people of the area. They became very rich from this trade, and they're the ones who, in what's now modern-day Jordan, built the city of Petra. Okay? And so, ultimately, these are just some of the newer states that popped up in this Mesopotamian area during this time, especially after the Hittites were removed as the empire. Thanks.